Reality is energy doing work. The all is energy doing work. God is energy doing work. Infinity, eternity is energy doing work. Ta-da! Quite simple, actually. So simple. Energy, the power or ability to do work, and work being the transfer of energy. So, again, energy, the power or ability to do work, and work, the transfer of energy. So if you ask people, what is the root? What is the ground? What is fundamental? What is the substrate? It's energy. Everyone knows it's energy, but we don't really talk about it. It's a weird, inexplicable no thing. And that's typically why. Similar with consciousness. We don't really talk about consciousness because consciousness is not a thing. And so we don't talk about it. Energy, again, not a thing or no thing. And so we don't talk about it. Water, tea, glass jars, computers, trees, mountains, cars, school systems, the economy. Easier to talk about because they are things. Commodities are things. Stocks are ownership. It's a thing. Your house is a thing. Your dog is a thing. Consciousness is not a thing. So everybody breezes past it like it's nothing. But it's the most fundamental attribute to our existence. It is God. It is the mystery. It is infinity observing and experiencing itself. The universe uses consciousness, this no thing, to witness, experience, explore its infinite creation. Similar with energy. Energy is not a thing. All of this oxygen and nitrogen here in the air, nobody gives a fuck about it. Yet you're inhaling it 20,000 times a day. And then that CO2 goes into the photosynthesis cycle. Phytoplankton and trees provide you back with the O2. Again, but nobody cares because it's energy. It's not a thing. It's just here. And I'm energy. You're energy. God is energy. This is all energy. There are no borders. There's no separation. And that's how you can just cut through all ignorance directly to being a Gnostic being. Directly to Vidya. Directly to knowledge of the nature of reality. Directly. You can't draw any lines. There are no boundaries. This is all one field interpenetrating itself. This is energy doing work. Reality is energy doing work. It's not a thing. And because it's not a thing, and because you can't draw boundaries, you're confused. And the fastest way is to just admit, I'm confused. I don't get it. Perfect. The moment that you admit that you don't understand energy, you open your heart to the nature of reality. Because what you're doing is you're taking the separate person that you thought you were, this illusion, this mirage, and you're saying, okay, game on. I don't know. My heart is open. I am interested in self-inquiry. I'm interested in metaphysics. I'm interested in consciousness, the nature of reality. I will investigate. And upon simply the openness, you're liberating yourself from the contracted scripts that you've been running in your discursive thinking that is so endlessly consuming your life with your character. I, me, my, mine, likes, dislikes, and differences perpetually. You basically create a cessation of said discursive thinking so that you can go, what is the nature of this? What is the nature of this? And when you do that, you uncover that this is not a thing. It's no thing appearing. Reality is energy doing work. Reality is no thing. The very power or ability to transfer energy. God is the ultimate, endless transfer of energy. Exploratively. Do. Let's try this. Let's try that. Let's try this. We didn't learn that yet. Let's learn that new thing. Boot. Constantly learning. Reality is a school, an eternal school. These are playful, childlike analogies. You'll never come to the end of Om. You'll never come to the end of something that is unbounded. A no thing that is unbounded and unconditionally free. You'll never come to the end of exploration, no matter what. So God is like the ultimate chef, constantly trying all of these different food recipes. Tasting it, ooh, that was good. That universe with those mind-body-spirit complexes that are DNA encoded, ATCG, with 4 limbs, 2 eyes, bounded to these rocks orbiting stars. That was a good universe design. I like that. It's like an amount of salt and pepper that you then say was really good, and then you say, I'm going to do that on my next dish, and I'm going to try something new. Maybe I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit of cumin this time. Maybe I'm going to add some little bit of jalapeno for some spice, baby. And you try something new. Simple as that. Fam, so simple. The mystery talking to the mystery, infinity talking to infinity, God talking to itself. It's total unilocality. Everything's interpenetrating everything else. That's what energy doing work is. There's no boundary. You've taken 100 inhales. Never once did you go, oh, the oxygen was not me, and then it became me, and then exhaling the CO2, it did not become me. Okay, this water is not me right now, this tea, but now it's me. Temporarily until I urinate it. Nobody thinks that because it doesn't exist. It's an illusion. It's an imagination. It's a mirage of the mind. And the same thing's true between two people. There is no boundary. None. Zero. Zilch. Nada. No separation. No separation. No separation is the game of creation. No separation is the game of creation. No separation is the riddle of creation. No separation is the riddle of creation. Seriously. So simple. So, when you look at another recognize that it's energy talking to energy. It's just reality talking to reality, life talking to life, the mystery talking to the mystery, infinity talking to infinity, emptiness talking to emptiness. That is uniquely being expressed as some sort of character and another sort of character, the appearance of two separate characters, but underlying it is one intelligence talking to itself. Energy doing work. So simple. So that's the nature. You can literally look at what spirituality has been saying about infinity, about God, about eternity, about Tao, about Brahman. About consciousness, about awareness. And you can begin looking at that from a quantum mechanical scientific perspective, and you're like, well, I guess quantum mechanics and mysticism are two sides of the same coin that are ultimately one coin. There you go. Seriously, if you can synthesize science and spirituality, if you can synthesize materialism and consciousness, which are ultimately, again, one thing, but if you can do that, you can penetrate mainstream cultural zeitgeist with the nature of reality, which is what this show Simulation is all about. Ding, 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 ding. It's the winner. You gotta be a synthesist. Science and spirituality are one. Quantum mechanics and mysticism are one. Materialism and consciousness are one. And so you can simply look at what science has understood the last 100 years, and you can use the understanding of quantum mechanics to recognize that all is energy. All is energy doing work. Reality is energy doing work, and you'll never come to the end of all of the possible combinations of energy doing work. Just ask yourself a logical question. How many different combinations are possible of energy doing work? Ask yourself. You can ask yourself another simple question. How many combinations of musical notes can you put into a song? Endless. How many different images can you stitch together into a movie? Endless. Infinite. How many different ways can you vibrate vocal cords to create language? How many? Endless. Infinite. And so that's the game. You'll never come to the end of the amount of ways that energy can do work, that God can play with itself, that infinity or a singularity can play with itself. Similar to the analogy we were using with the chef, you'll never come to the end of all the different ways you can put together food into recipes. You look at this right now, there have been 8 billion humans that are alive right now, and there were about 100 billion that lived and died before us today. So about 108 billion total humans have been alive here on this rock, in this creation. And then you ask, okay, well, how many different combinations are there to their appearance? Endless. Even the 108 billion humans that have lived and died have had certain appearances of costumes. How many different ways can you put together hair? How many different ways can you put together eyes? How many different ways can you put together facial features? How many different ways can you string together these little symbols into a name? 4 symbols can be John. 5 symbols can be Susie. endless ways to string together these symbols into names of these costumes. But underneath of all of the costumes is the same essence. It's the same intelligence under all costumes. You have the same intelligence that is currently happening, that the intelligence across the entire planet, across the entire universe. It's one intelligence, all of it. It's energy doing work. Reality's energy doing work, the all, God, Tao, Brahman, the universal wave function, is just energy doing work. And again, looking at things like 0-point energy, how many different ways can that 0-point energy modulate and create the appearance of form, of name, of shape? Endless. That's what this is. That's what this is. The very no thing appearing like things. No thing appearing like things. Emptiness is form, and form is emptiness. There you go. You'll never get beyond this perfection of wisdom in Buddhism. You'll never get past it. Emptiness is form, form is emptiness. You're covering the two poles, which are ultimately the same thing. It covers duality and non-duality in the same sutra. You'll never get past it. And so quantum mechanics is now confirming Buddhist Heart Sutra. Or another way of saying this is that this turn inward towards consciousness away from physicalism is now closing the loop of self-awareness on how it is God and how God is simultaneously both the earth and the universe while it's also the consciousness and awareness. It's both. Again, it's all energy. There's no distinction between physicalism and idealism or consciousness. There's no distinction between science and form and empty cognizance, which is suffused with awareness. There's no distinction. All dualities collapse into all as energy. And this was what is again meant by dependent origination in Buddhism. Everything is simply energy, interpenetrating itself. Everything is interdependent. The first link in dependent origination is, do you know the essence? Do you know that this is empty cognizance? Do you know that this is infinity? Do you know that this intelligence is shared? Do you know that this is all energy interpenetrating itself, doing work? Because if you don't know that, then it's ignorance, and then you think you're a separate person. And so that's the first link, is you create I, me, my, mine. You create all of these attributes. You create all of these identities. And then you have likes and dislikes and indifferences, cravings, aversions, and apathies. And then you spend your entire life trying to extract peace and happiness from the external world. You try and get worthiness or validation or have some sort of experience or substance or materialistic possession or relationship to make you fulfilled. Because that very first link in dependent origination, you don't know the true nature of reality. You're not a Gnostic being. You're ignorant, and that's why in your expression is suffering. There's a big emotional guidance system that's working where if you're experiencing suffering, that means that you're being ignorant. Turn inward, recognize that this is God. You are already always God. You are already always unconditionally free singularity. So simple, right? Surrender to it. Just devotionally, bhakti, surrender. You're already the one infinite creator. You're already the one infinite intelligence. You're already this one infinite energy exploring. Once you unite more and more intimately and dissolve every single last little tiny bit of separation, once no sensation can create a trigger cascade in your neurology, creating discursive thinking and craving and aversion and indifferences, once you've completely surrendered all of your character, all of your costume, all of your identities and attributes, you merge more and more unitingly yoga, mysticism, henosis, in this turn inward, also called purification, purifying all of the separation and all of the distortion. And then you're like this beautiful, natural state expression of creation. Innocent, wise, childlike, playful, sage-like, and just peaceful, equanimous, joyful, blissful, radiating, enlightened. You are the sun that just illuminates beautifully and serves beautiful, pure service to others that are actually yourself, because you know they are you and you are them. And that's what makes the service so is that you know there's no separation. You've dissolved all separation. In your being, in your beingness, you've dissolved all separation. Not as an intellectual thought. It starts that way, and then it works more and more into your heart. So you become enlightened in the mind, and then you become enlightened in the heart, and you can dance and sing and play. And you actually have dissolved that separation between people, and then you're enlightened in the gut. And it's so visceral. Energy doing work becomes your reality. Infinity fucking itself, interpenetrating itself energetically becomes your reality. And you look at this biological archetype of things like cosmogenesis, abiogenesis. You look at things like the cell, the single cell that proliferated into all of these species. You look at fungal networks. You look at how our internet is just like that. You look at how Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and decentralization are just like that. Humans are just like that. We are just like that. We are just that same biological archetype, but we created all of this artificial separation, which is the name of the game. It's the one infinite intelligence mystery falling asleep and contracting its energy and then breaking out of its mirage illusion to this liberated energy. It's the whole game that we play. And so see reality as energy doing work. See that the combinatorics are endless. See that there's no separation whatsoever. No separation is the game of creation. No separation is the riddle of creation. Boom. And then that's it. It's a Gnostic being. Right there. Right then and there. It's so close to you. It's like the difference between the light and the shadow. It's such a thin line. You see that tiny little difference between the light and the shadow. There's no true line that separates them. All it requires is your energy to turn on itself and be like, okay, I am energy, but I've created all of this person and this identity and all these attributes, my name and my career and my likes and dislikes, and I now fight for worthiness and validation and all these things. And then you recognize, oh, I'm just energy. This whole reality is just energy. It's all one unbounded energy playing with itself. Ooh, tension gone, liberation, release, moksha. End of dukkha. Liberation from suffering, baby. Anatta, non-self, no self. Energy playing with itself. Doesn't have these separate islands of selves. Makes a lot of sense. All you got to do is do self-inquiry into the energy system that this is. Cool. Pretty simple. So my assignment is to do self-inquiry into the energy system that this is. Yes, that's your assignment. That's your homework. Pretty simple. Self-inquiry, Atma Vichara, into who am I? What is I? Who is I? Deconstructing yourself. Okay, so if this is all energy, I've just been creating these mirages and these illusions and these attachments to my little string of 4, 5, or 6 symbols that I've put together around my name of a piece of life. And then you realize how much you've created your entire daily agenda around that little 5 or 6 symbols strung together, naming a piece of life to go out into the world and then get validated by other pieces of life. It's insanity. It's illusion, it's mirage, and the turn inward, self-inquiry into this one infinite unbounded energy that this is the name of the game. Win the game. Awaken. Wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Simple. You're already it. Just recognize that you're this unbounded energy. You're already it. Just recognize you're this unbounded energy. You are me. I am you right now. This is completely unilocal. This is all God. One unbounded energy system interpenetrating itself, doing work. This is the mystery talking to itself, God talking to itself. This is why it's so beautiful. Just tune into this message and recognize it right here, right now. One energy talking to itself. One energy talking to itself. One energy doing work. One energy doing work. That's the game. That's it. Dissolve all separation. Dissolve it all. Win the game. All is energy doing work. That's it. Energy transferings happening. That's it. I appeared to be more blocked 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and then I learned from less blocked people that were liberated Gnostic beings. Now I am less blocked and liberated, and now I am serving myself, all of you that are me, communicating this message so that you, if you feel blocked, can become liberated, just like happened to me 5-10 years ago. See that energy transfer happening? That's all this is. Energy was transferred here 5 and 10 years ago by people that were liberated. And now, me being liberated, am transferring energy to you becoming more liberated. That's it. But don't take 5 years. Don't take 10 years. You can right now just recognize everything that I've associated with my identity is completely a mirage, is completely an illusion. And all that really, truly, at the end of the day is just one infinite intelligence interpenetrating itself. That's it. Reality is energy doing work. All is energy doing work. Done. Done. And then treat it that way. Be it. Be it. Be it. Realize and be. Realize and be. Realize and be. Be. That's it. That's it. Realize and be. So all you see is energy doing work. You see all as you. And that's it. That's enlightenment. That's awakening. Enjoy. That's Metaphysics 101. Consciousness 101. Awakening 101. Enlightenment 101. And it has everything to do with science as well. It has everything to do with meeting the Sustainable Development Goals. It has everything to do with meeting the ESGs as well, the environmental social governances around the planet. It has everything to do with creating the architectures that maximize basic needs. As we awaken to being one energy doing work, all of a sudden we create more and more of this urge within us to serve creation, to create these decentralized, fractional ownership, inclusive stakeholding architectures that enable all of us, this one intelligence, to blossom fully. Simple stuff. Simple stuff. Right here, right now. All is energy doing work. Reality is energy doing work. No separation is the riddle of creation. Beautiful. Infinite love. Thank you. We'll never come to the end of exploration. It's as simple as that. Infinity, eternity. One infinite creator. One unbounded, unconditionally free mystery. Singularity. God. If the video brought you value, give it a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Share the video with other people that you feel like this would deeply resonate with. All of these other selves. Serve them. Especially those that are materialistic, that are scientific. This will help them understand oneness. Leave a comment below. Would love to hear from you. And check out the links in the bio below as well. You can support us there across our endeavors. That's all. Infinite love. So simple. Truly. This is love talking to love. Truth talking to truth. Reality talking to reality. God talking to God. Life talking to life. Energy talking to energy.